Certain images give us a snapshot of someone's life. They can be funny, serious, or intriguing. And sometimes they provide a chilling insight into a shocking situation. From terrorist attacks to plane crashes, our devices see it all, leaving behind tragic echoes of a dark future. I'm Mike with List 25, and here are 25 chilling photos taken right before tragedy. 25. Steve Irwin. Steve Irwin was one of the most famous wildlife presenters of all time, known for his love of animals and his daredevil approach to meeting them. Sadly, this Australian force of nature met his end when he was attacked by a stingray in the Great Barrier Reef on September 4th, 2006. After being hit in the chest by the ray's tail barb, his heart was pierced, which caused a fatal injury. Irwin was 44. The last known photo shows Irwin happily giving a thumbs up. 24. Casey Rivara. On May 18th, 2023, Casey Rivara was hit by a vehicle at an intersection in the city of Rockland, California. The last image of him is maybe not what you'd expect. Yes, that's Rivara helping a family of ducks cross the street. He decided to stop and come to their aid. Unbeknownst to the 41-year-old, his act of kindness would end in tragedy. Having escorted the mother and her ducklings to safety, he was returning to his car when the fatal accident happened. A teenage driver was behind the wheel. 23. John and Jackie Knill. Here's a happy-looking couple enjoying their vacation. The Knills were in Thailand on the 26th of December 2004, a truly fateful day. An earthquake in the Indian Ocean triggered a devastating tsunami that killed over 5,000 people. John and Jackie Knill were visiting from Canada. Their camera was recovered, which showed the tsunami as it crashed down on the vacation spot. 22. Captured in a selfie. These are the last moments of teenagers Essa Ricker, Kelsey Webster, and her sister Savannah, captured in a selfie. The light behind them is what makes this image so chilling. You see, the girls wanted to take a picture of themselves with an oncoming train, so they took one on the Utah Railway track where they were hiking in October 2011. What they didn't know was that another train was heading straight for them. Essa and Kelsey, both 15, were killed right there. Savannah, aged 13, was taken to the hospital, but sadly died from her injuries. 21. Shoreham air disaster. This image looks incredibly dramatic, but it also shows the moments before a shocking accident in the area of Shoreham, England. The Hawker Hunter jet was taking part in an air show on August 22, 2015. Pilot Andy Hill was performing a loop maneuver when he unexpectedly hit a dual carriageway on the A27 road. 11 people died. Hill survived the disaster but faced prosecution in the courts. He was cleared of manslaughter but had his pilot's license taken away. You know, I don't know about you, but I grew up collecting Pokemon, Digimon, you name it. Since then, nothing's really scratched that itch. Until I found this game. Have you tried it? Not only is it packed with amazing champions, but it's also got some of the best graphics I've ever seen on mobile. Let's see what we pulled from these shards. Okay. Ooh. Oh, this one I could have really used when I started. Oh, jeez. Let's go again. All right. Now that's what I'm talking about. Look at the detail on this champion. The content is just the absolute real deal. Here, one more. Every pull can be a game changer, whether you're leveling up champions or sacrificing some to boost your best. If you haven't guessed by now, this is Raid Shadow Legends. And yeah, I might just be addicted. With Raid, the right way to play is to start with champions, and then jump in dungeons to build a team that can dominate. Plus, it's cross-platform, so you can switch between mobile and PC and pick up right where you left off. Ready to dive into everything Raid has to offer? Hit my link below or scan the QR code to grab some awesome bonuses. You'll kick things off with Tagore, an epic champion from the Orc faction who's all about keeping the squad together with his sword staff. And when you hit level 15, you unlock Grizzled Jarl from the Dwarves faction. He's stronger than he looks and brings some serious power to your lineup. Oh, and here's one you don't want to miss. Use the promo code Monkey King to grab the legendary Sun Wukong for free, but it's only for November. And you know what? Another thing I love? Playing with friends and family in my own clan. I'm running one called List 25, and we're always on the lookout for new teammates. So if you're up for taking on some epic bosses, hang on. Okay. Come join us. Oh, and before I forget, if you've played Raid before on mobile but took a break, we've got a special welcome back link just for you in the description. This exclusive link gives returning players a bonus package featuring the champion Tagore. But remember, this one's only for those returning through that separate link and only on mobile. So if you haven't started playing yet, what are you waiting for? Click my link or scan the QR code to claim all these bonuses that are only available through my link. Trust me, you'll want to start with these champions. Now, before I go, remember, if you want a powerful start in Raid, all those champions and bonuses are waiting for you right now. Use my link or scan the code to unlock your team's potential and get in on the action. I'll see you in the game. Okay, let's get back to our video. Turn this off. 20. Marco Simoncelli. Marco Simoncelli lived fast and died young. The 24-year-old MotoGP rider from Italy lost control of his Honda bike on October 23, 2011. Taking part in the Malaysian Grand Prix, Simoncelli collided with fellow riders Valentino Rossi and Colin Edwards from the US. He lost his helmet coming off his vehicle and later died from his injuries. One of the final images from the high-profile race reveals just how shocking and terrifying this fatal accident was. Edwards dislocated his shoulder in the chaos. 19. Flight 182. This horrifying photo shows the last moments of Pacific Southwest Airlines Flight 182. On September 25, 1978, the Boeing 727, containing 135 passengers and crew, flew into a Cessna 172, which had 2 people aboard. The smaller plane collided with the airplane's right wing, exploding. Flight 182 then plunged earthwards, where everyone on board was killed. 11 others lost their lives at street level in San Diego. It's regarded as one of the worst disasters of its kind in history. 18. Heather Price Papayoti. You could say this photo seems pretty unremarkable. Taken on the Hoover Dam Bypass Bridge on January 16, 2014 by a lady from the Boulder City area in Nevada, it shows Heather Price Papayoti looking at the view. What you're actually seeing is the last known photo of Papayoti before she ended her own life by jumping from the bridge. Aged 42, Papayoti was suffering from anxiety and depression. She'd reportedly traveled hundreds of miles to the location following a session with her counselor. 17. Franz Reichelt. A parachute suit was a great idea. Sadly, the man who invented it lost his life testing it out. Franz Reichelt wanted to show the effectiveness of his suit, so he made the fateful decision to wear it himself when falling from the Eiffel Tower on February 4, 1912. Reichelt was positioned at the first platform, 187 feet up. The cameras captured his descent, as his parachute tragically failed. Reichelt made a crater approximately 16 centimeters wide. Such was the force of the landing. And if you are enjoying this list, or I don't know if enjoying is really the word for it, but please make sure to like, share, comment, subscribe, do all of that. It really helps the channel out. Thank you so much. 16. SS Vestris sinking. The SS Vestris, containing 128 passengers and 198 crew, was traveling between New Jersey and the River Plate. Near the coast of Norfolk, Virginia, the ship got into serious trouble. Water flooded the Vestris through an open cargo door, and it sank on November 12, 1928. 111 people perished. What makes the story and the accompanying images even more tragic is the fact that the disaster claimed the lives of every child on board. The boat shares history with the Titanic. Both were constructed in Belfast, where work finished the same year, in 1912. 15. Gary Slok and Petra Langerveld. Selfies are often taken during happy moments, such as the one between a son and his mother. Gary Slok, aged 15, and Petra Langerveld, aged 52, were on Malaysia Airlines Flight MH17 traveling to Kuala Lumpur from Amsterdam. Part of the journey involved passing over East Ukraine, where the plane was hit by a surface-to-air missile. Everyone on board died, apparently at the hands of Russian forces, on July 17, 2014. 3 men were sentenced to life imprisonment for the crime in 2022. 14. Saman Gunan. The rescue mission that entered the Tham Luang cave in northern Thailand in June and July 2018 faced considerable danger. But they had to do it, because the lives of 12 boys plus their coach Ekapol Chantawong of the Wild Boars football team were at stake. Among the rescue divers was Saman Gunan, aged 37. Despite his intense military training, he died after running out of air. The last recorded image of him is a fitting tribute to his bravery. 13. Flight 123. On August 12, 1985, a Japan Airlines plane went out of control following a shocking malfunction, resulting in the pilot being unable to fly Flight 123. The trouble started through a faulty bulkhead, with the plane experiencing a rupture shortly after takeoff. A tail fin was also missing, according to accounts. It took a reported 32 minutes for the battle against the odds to end. Flight 123 crashed into Mount Takamagahara in the Gunma Prefecture. Almost everyone died. Only 4 survived out of 524, with 1 passenger taking a photo inside the cabin before tragedy struck. 12. Bataclan Concert Hall Selfie. The Eagles of Death metal concert at Bataclan Hall in Paris on November 13, 2015 made headlines for horrific reasons. This venue was attacked by 3 gun-wielding terrorists wearing suicide belts who started brutally executing innocent people there. These included Gilles Lecerque and Marianne Lebanon. Their selfie was the last image taken of the pair before the gunmen moved in. They and over 100 others died as part of a general campaign of terror in the shadow of the Eiffel Tower that day. The Bataclan attackers were finally blown up by their belts, but the damage they left behind was irreversible. 11. Brazilian football team tragedy. This photo shows Brazilian football star Kleber Santana aboard Lamia Flight 2933. The date was November 28, 2016, and the image had one caption: "In how many lives I live, in all, I will love you." Things were not right on this plane, which was at the center of the worst airline disaster of the year. A lack of fuel meant the aircraft crashed into a Colombian mountain in the Cerro El Gordo area. What makes the story even more tragic is the fact that the flight was a mere 20 kilometers from the airport. Santana died, along with 18 of his Chapecoense teammates. 71 died overall. 10. Station Club Fire. Pyrotechnics bring an exciting dimension to a band's live performance. In the case of the Great White gig at the Station Club in Rhode Island, however, it became the horrific start of a fiery tragedy. On the night of February 20th, 2003, the show set off its pyrotechnics. Shockingly, these set fire to the soundproofing in the venue. The flammable material turned the happy scene into a deadly blaze. There were 100 deaths and 200 injuries. And of course, people were taking photos, offering a chilling reminder of the terrible event. You can see the pyrotechnics going off in the background there. 9. Karl Wallenda. This is 73-year-old tightrope walker Karl Wallenda. Yes, you heard me correctly, a tightrope walker in his 70s. This German-American performer wowed the crowds with his gravity-defying feats, but people were reminded of the dangers of being at the circus when he lost his balance crossing a rope between 2 hotel towers in Puerto Rico on March 22, 1978. He was 123 feet up when he tragically fell and died. A TV crew captured Wallenda's spectacular, yet terrifying, final moments. 8. Flight 235 dashcam. Vehicle dashcams are important for things like solving crimes. However, they also film other serious events, such as in 2015 when a Trans-Asia flight flew low over the roofs of cars on its way to crash land in the Keelung River in Taiwan. On February 4th, the disastrous crash claimed the lives of 43 people. The other 15 survived. So, what happened? Reportedly, one of the engines failed, and in their effort to correct the situation, the pilot switched off the wrong engine. 7. Carter Christensen. This is a stark warning to those wanting to go rock climbing and take selfies. 17-year-old hiker and free climber Carter Christensen from Minnesota was standing on a Flatirons rock face in August 2017. He was letting the world know of his achievements on social media. Sadly, he appeared to be more concerned with his camera and less with his situation. He fell for a distance of approximately 100 feet and lost his life. 6. Joseph Avery. Joseph Avery was caught on camera in the middle of a 19th century tragedy on the water. In 1853, he was the sole survivor of a 3-man boat trip in the wild Niagara River. Luck was initially on Avery's side, with a log becoming his lifeline. There were people there to witness his plight and to try and save him. The agonizing process apparently went on for hours. The crowd could only watch in horror as Avery finally let go of the log and fell to his death at the famous falls on the evening of July 19th. 5. Marco Siffredi. Would you snowboard down Mount Everest? That's exactly what French daredevil Marco Siffredi did in 2001, and it's kind of a miracle he survived. He then tried the same thing again the following year. That time, tragedy struck. While everything looks cool and exciting in this final image of Siffredi, he would sit off on his board, never to be seen again. To this day, no one is sure what happened to the young snowboarder. 4. Mahatma Gandhi. Indian spiritual and political leader Gandhi famously practiced nonviolence. His enemies didn't share his philosophy, as his death on January 30th, 1948 showed. The public figure was at Birla House in New Delhi when nationalists and Nathuram Gose opened fire. His final photo depicts a man of peace in what were to be the last moments of his incredibly influential life. 3. Death of the Tsesarevich. The aristocracy did not have a good time in Russia, or rather, they did before revolutionaries conspired to wipe them out. A famous and bloody example of this was the fate of Alexei Nikolaevich, the 13-year-old Tsesarevich, or heir to the empire. His father was Tsar Nicholas II. Nicholas, together with his wife and children, including Alexei, were killed by the Bolsheviks on July 17, 1918. Here is the last known image of him. When he died, it was brutal, with many attempts made to shoot and stab him due to a protective layer of gemstones under his clothes. 2. Polar bear attack. Imagine being at the zoo when someone decides to jump into the water of the polar bear enclosure. That's what happened in this shocking incident at Berlin Zoo on April 13, 2009. A distressing image shows the poor woman being attacked by one of the bears. She later died from her wounds, and it later came out she was experiencing mental health issues. 1. Freediver. Freediving, as in diving down as deep as you can go without an oxygen tank, is an impressive feat. It's also incredibly dangerous. Even the best in the business can lose their lives. On November 17, 2013, Nicholas Mavoli from America was 236 feet down in the Bahamas. He'd reached his target depth, but of course he needed to come back to the surface. Once he got there, he tragically died. He had made it out, but there was a buildup of fluid in his lungs. A photo taken the same day shows Mavoli in the run-up to his demise. So, that's it for me today. If you're looking for more dramatic stories and you enjoy true crime, then check out our new channel, Dark Roast Detectives. Shocking and tragic tales over a cup of joe. I'll catch you guys next time. Don't do anything stupid in the meantime, please.